I was 15 when my parents left me on the side of the road during a storm. All because of a lie my sister told. Years later, when they found out who saved me that night, my dad couldn't even hold his hands steady. At 15, my parents left me in a storm over my sister's lie. Dad's hands shook when he saw who saved me. I was 15 when it happened. Still a kid. Still believing that no matter how bad things got, my parents would never actually leave me behind. I was wrong. We were driving home late that night. The rain had started earlier, soft at first, tapping lightly against the windows. But as we got further down the road, it turned into something else. Heavier, relentless, the kind of storm that made it hard to see more than a few feet ahead. The kind that made everything feel smaller, quieter, more dangerous. No one was talking. My dad focused on the road. My mom sat beside him, tense. My sister was in the back seat next to me, scrolling through her phone like nothing mattered. It should have been a normal ride, but it wasn't, because about 20 minutes earlier, everything had shifted. It started with her voice, sharp, accusing. "Where is it?" my sister suddenly said. I looked up. "What?" "My bracelet," she snapped. "The one I had at Aunt Sarah's." "I don't know," I said. "You were the last one near my bag," she replied immediately. My stomach tightened. "I didn't take anything." She laughed. Short, cold. "Yeah, okay." My mom turned slightly in her seat. "What's going on?" "She stole my bracelet," my sister said without hesitation. That was it. No pause. No doubt. Just certainty. I said quickly. My dad didn't even look back. "Give it back," he said. "I don't have it." "Stop lying," my sister snapped. "I'm not." "Enough," my dad cut in, his voice sharp. The car felt smaller, suddenly. Tighter. Like the air had changed. "I didn't take it," I said again, trying to keep my voice steady. But no one was listening. My mom sighed. "Why do you always do this?" she said. "Do what? Defend myself?" "Pull the car over," my sister muttered. "What?" I said. "I don't want to sit next to her," she added. My dad didn't argue, didn't question it. He slowed the car. Rain hammered against the windshield. "You can walk," he said. For a second, I thought he was joking. "What?" "You heard me," he replied. "Get out." My heart started racing. "You're serious?" "Maybe next time you'll think before you take something that isn't yours." "I didn't take anything," I said, but it didn't matter. It never did when it came to her. The car came to a stop on the side of the road. Dark, empty, rain pouring down, so hard it blurred everything beyond the headlights. My mom didn't turn around. My sister didn't look at me. And my dad just said it again. "Get out." I opened the door slowly. The rain hit instantly, cold, heavy, unforgiving. I stepped out. My shoes sank slightly into the wet ground. I stood there, waiting, hoping for someone to say something, anything. "Wait. Come back." We didn't mean it. Nothing came. The door shut behind me, and a second later, the car drove away, leaving me alone, in the storm, at 15 years old, with nowhere to go, and no idea what was coming next. For a few seconds, I just stood there, rain pouring down, so hard it blurred everything around me. The headlights disappeared quickly, and then nothing, just darkness. The road stretched out in both directions, empty and silent except for the storm. I wrapped my arms around myself, trying to block the cold. My clothes were already soaked. My hair stuck to my face. I didn't know what to do. There were no houses nearby, no lights, no sidewalks, just trees and road and rain. I started walking. I didn't have a plan. I just knew I couldn't stand there. Every step felt heavier than the last. Water splashed around my shoes. The wind picked up, pushing the rain sideways. I couldn't even tell how long I had been walking. Minutes felt like hours. My phone was in my pocket, but when I pulled it out, the screen was black. Dead. Of course it was. I let out a shaky breath. Okay. I said it out loud, like hearing my own voice would make things feel less empty. It didn't. A car passed at one point. Fast. Too fast. Its headlights lit me up for a second before disappearing into the storm. I didn't wave. Didn't try to stop it. I didn't trust it. I didn't trust anything at that point. The cold started to settle deeper, not just on my skin, but inside. My hands shook. My steps slowed. And for the first time, I felt something I hadn't expected. Fear. Real fear. Not of my parents. Not of my sister. But of being out there alone, with no one coming back. Then, in the distance, I saw something. A light. Faint at first. Then clearer as I kept walking. A small building. Dimly lit. I didn't even think. I just moved toward it. Faster. The closer I got, the more real it became. A roadside workshop. Old. Quiet. But open. A single light hanging above the entrance. I stepped inside, dripping water onto the concrete floor. Hello. I called out. My voice sounded small in the empty space. For a moment, nothing happened. Then I heard movement, slow footsteps from the back. And a man stepped into the light. Older, rough hands, work clothes. He looked at me for a second, taking in the situation. Then his expression changed immediately. What happened to you? He asked. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. Not right away, because I didn't even know where to start. They left me, I finally said. My voice cracked. Who? My parents. He stared at me, like he was making sure he heard that correctly. In this weather? I nodded. He didn't ask more questions. Didn't doubt me. Didn't hesitate. Come here, he said, grabbing a towel from a nearby bench. Sit down. I did. He handed me the towel, then moved quickly, grabbing a jacket and placing it over my shoulders. You're freezing? He said. I hadn't even realized how bad it was until that moment. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Stay here, he added. You're safe. Safe. That word hit differently coming from a stranger than it ever had at home. He disappeared into the back room for a minute, then came back with a warm drink. Here, he said, slowly. I held the cup carefully, the heat seeping into my fingers. You got someone I can call? He asked. I hesitated, because the only people I had were the ones who left me there. No, I said quietly. He nodded once, like he understood more than I said. All right, he replied. Then we'll figure it out. We, not you, not your problem. We. And for the first time that night, I didn't feel completely alone anymore. I sat there, wrapped in a stranger's jacket, holding a warm cup in shaking hands, while outside the storm kept raging. But inside, something had shifted, because the people who were supposed to protect me had driven away, and the person who stopped was someone who didn't even know my name, at least not yet. And years later, when my parents finally found out who that man was, my dad couldn't even keep his hands steady. Years later, my parents saw him again, not on the road, but standing beside me at my graduation. The man who had taken me in that night had become my guardian, my support, my family. My dad recognized him instantly. His hands shook. Why you? He stammered. The man didn't react, just stood calmly beside me. He didn't leave me. I said quietly. Silence followed, because for the first time, my parents had to face something they couldn't deny. The stranger they ignored was the one who chose to stay, when they didn't.